Alright guys, so I finally got the Beta cross trainer. Just doing this video just because it's kind of snowing outside. It's cold. I'm probably not going to ride for a few days. But I kind of wanted to give my first impression. And I got a few bikes I can compare the Beta cross trainer to. Hands down, when I first saw the cross trainer. Now, this is me coming back at a different perspective of the cross trainer. I felt like I was a lot more confident rider back then, a lot better of a rider. Fast forward 2 or 3 years later, and I felt like my skills kind of just dropped a little bit, just because I don't really ride much anymore. I figured the cross trainer would be perfect to give me confidence because of the low seat height. I'm 6'1". One of the things I instantly noticed about the cross trainer is it almost looks like, it feels kind of almost looks like a full-size dirt bike. A lot of people say it's like 7th, 9th, or I don't know, 8th, 9th of a dirt bike, but it's up there. I'm gonna compare it just for comparison purposes. The first bike I'm gonna compare it to is this ttr230. And then when I was in my opinion, a much better rider than I am today, is this ttr250i here. This is a 20, I forgot it was 2020, I think. Can't remember. But anyways, this was the main bike that I used. I'm 6 foot, or about close to 6'1". I did Independence Trail, kind of like an introductory hard enduro trail. Really good, I would say, an introductory trail for getting used to hard enduro. You know, it's not your average trail. It's very rocky, a lot of off camber spots and stuff like that. Now, one thing I noticed, the seat is up to here. It's a really tall seat, and even getting on top of this seat, it's a little tough for me, you know. Oh man, it's just I don't ride much anymore. Oh, so I'm not as flexible, I don't think. You know, as you're constantly putting your leg over the dirt bikes, I feel like you're at least stretching somewhat. But I don't know if you can kind of see my feet. I'm kind of like tippy-toeing. And when I rode this bike in Independence Trail, I'm going, you know, I see some rocks, and I'm terrified. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to tip this over.
I can get used to it by the end of the day.
But anyways, let's talk about the weight. All right, I'm just trying to remember what it feels like before I hop onto the cross trainer. Okay, let's rush over to the cross trainer. Now we're at the cross trainer. Let's move this trash can. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. Right here, I'm just gonna put the phone down really quick. One thing I noticed, you know, the seat, you know, it's definitely, it still feels, even me, 6 foot, it's still a pretty kind of tall seat a little bit, you know, but definitely much lower. And then here, I think I might have a short inseam compared to other men. It seems like I have a longer torso, upper body, I have pretty long arms. When I used to do martial arts a long time ago, that was my biggest perk, was my arm reach. But here, I'm flat footing, not 100%, but I'm actually flat footing. I have just enough light pressure in the rear heels. You know, I can't 100%, like full pressure flat foot, if that makes sense, but I can flat foot. And hands down, like, I'm learning how to do pivot turns and wheelies and stuff like that. And even the XR200, it's a Honda, still I think gives me more confidence on the seat height versus this cross trainer. But this, hands down, you know, gives me a lot more confidence to pivot turn, I would say. I'm not very good at it. I'm just trying to explain what I feel. Hopefully I make sense. Now we're gonna come back here to the ttr230. And I think what scares me about the pivot turns and the wheelies is, one, of course, it's my skills. I'm not there yet. So this is a ttr230. I'm very comfortable to pivot turn this bike. And this ttr230, it's definitely, I don't know if it's a suspension, whatever it is, but this one I can definitely, hands down, it's lower. This is lower than, or at least feels lower than the Beta. So I'm definitely, that's going to be my main bike, the Beta. I'm not going to rent that one out. I'll probably be doing a lot more reviews on that Beta. But yeah, this one, hands down, you know, complete flat foot, full pressure on the heels and everything like that on a ttr230. I honestly wish the Beta was about this length of a ttr230. Now, when I first got the Beta, I honestly thought it was going to be kind of like the ttr230, but the Beta cross trainer actually feels a little bit more, I would say a little bit more fuller feel to it than the ttr230. ttr230, I mean, average trail ride is perfect, I think, if you're not looking for crazy enduro speed or anything like that. But the cross trainer, I would say, is just one step above this one and one step below the T250i.